I think if you step all the way back from what we do as marketers, the most important thing we've really got to cultivate is the experience, right? And let's face it, we have been so focused on optimizing the advertising math that we sometimes forget the consumer equation, right? And anything we do that enhances the consumer equation, including reducing ad load, is really a good thing, because if you think about it, the likelihood that they'll recall your message goes up. The likelihood that they'll stay engaged with the programming or the content that you're surrounding your message with goes up. So it's a win-win. The next question you're going to ask me is, will advertisers support that with additional money per ad, if you will? And I think the answer is yes. I think we need to basically support the ecosystem and make bets where it's more likely that our ads would be effective. So I think this is headed in the right direction. I think a lot of what you hear around Cannes already is this talk about user experience, whether it's in a digital environment or the linear TV environment. And less but better is not a bad mantra for our industry in 2016. I think the conversation around data has been an interesting one, and I felt at the end of this year's Upfront there was almost a digital divide, and there were three networks that were well in front: Turner, ESPN, and NBC Universal. And I mean that because data was an integral part of their value proposition, not something that was sprinkled on the top of the cupcake. And real meaningful discussion with folks who have a data pedigree. It's Stefano Kim at Turner, it's Denise at NBC, and it's folks that have been in the business for a long time on the data side, now coming over to the linear side and saying, we can provide you something that works within your digital ecosystem, which connects to your DMP. This is important not for targeting, this is important for relationship marketing, right? As we move into this era that is increasingly deterministic, we need to know a little bit about who we're talking to, not their name, it's all privacy compliant, but things like their interests, right? And whether or not they saw my last message. So if I'm doing sequential messaging, I can serve the next one. So as these players come to the table, we now have a pretty complete ecosystem with digital, mobile, addressable TV, which is at 60 million households this year, going to 75 million by the end of the year, as you well know. When they put these data spines to work for the marketers in their stack, it allows us to take much more advantage of their opportunity. The other thing that's interesting this year is the amount of hype about virtual reality. A lot of people developing for VR, and honestly, I just don't think that there's enough handsets or headsets out there yet for it to really be impactful for marketers, particularly given the cost to develop the content. But I'm intrigued by how consistent the message is with VR, so I'm really trying to think, like, maybe I'm missing something there.